Hey everybody, my name is Scott. I want to welcome you out to my channel of how I do what I do. Today I'm working down in the basement on a project for my daughter who is basically remodeling her entire basement. But right in the middle of the doorway is the water heater. I don't know what the builders were thinking about when they did this, but they put the water heater right in the way. So I'm going to move the water heater over and put it inside there by just changing a couple connections, changing the vent, and I'll show you how I go about doing what I do. This is a first for me. Like I said, it's right in the way. So we're going to get on with this video and I'll show you what it takes to move your hot water heater. Okay, one of the first things you're going to want to do before you start this project is locate the main shutoff for the entire house. That way you don't have a flood. Like in my case, I'm down in the basement. Some of you might be like in a garage, or you might be in a little utility room, like where your washer and dryer is. This one happens to be in the basement. So I'm at the lowest point of the house. There is a drain about a foot away from the hot water heater, but I definitely want to make sure I shut off the main. So the water's coming in through here, and it comes out this way. This one's shut off also. Excuse me, everybody. Anyways, if I go and turn that, no water's coming out of it. It's a little bit trickling out of there, but that's okay. We can take a little trickle. But anyways, I've shut off the main valve right here, and then I shut off this one. This one goes through a pressure regulator, comes up this way, goes right there, goes across the ceiling, all the way down. And there again, I don't know what they were thinking about when they did this, but they actually cut a hole right into the ductwork. There must be something I'm not aware of. But anyways, I'm going to detach right here, and then I'm going to bring everything over and then bring it down right here, because I've got this like little closet that they're going to build, which I think that's where the hot water heater should have went to begin with. There must be something I don't know, or we had some lazy contractors. So, and then we have a vent right here that actually, this vent right here needs to have a tube that goes all the way down to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that also. So first things first, we shut off the water. Second thing, we got to shut off the gas to the natural gas to the hot water heater. I'll show you how you go about doing that next. So this is your gas supply that comes into the house. This also supplies the furnace, and then this supplies the hot water heater. So what you're going to do is you're going to shut off your gate valve here. And you're going to use, just going to use a crescent wrench on these two. And then again right here. And then take that whole piece off. And then I'm going to probably have to turn this, maybe, I don't know, a little bit more than 90 degrees, because I want to get it so that it goes over here. And then that'll be out of the way, because they're going to put a wall right here. So they'll probably attach off this, and they'll build a wall right here and then connect over there somewhere. So I want to basically have everything on this side so that it's out of the way. So I'll go ahead and detach that next. Well, I figured before I get too far into this video, I would show you the type of tools that I have. I basically have what they call a Homer's bucket, but this is actually just a 5-gallon bucket. And then I bought a Husky tool caddy that slides into the bucket, and it holds things like, my crescent wrench. I have 2 different pairs of channel locks. I've got, if you guys watched my previous video, you've seen when I use the SharkBite fittings, what you're going to need for shark bites, and then how to cut copper, and I'm sure there's a couple other goodies down here. Oh, how to release the shark bites. So anyways, this is kind of a cool gadget right here, just to have all this. I got a couple pipe wrenches. I've got my striker that holds my tank so that I can sweat copper together, and it's just all the stuff. This is kind of, I put this together. This is my plumbing bucket, and I am not a plumber. I've got stuff for cutting PEX, so I got that in here also, and then I got my striker and saws for cutting PVC. So this is kind of, I put this together as my what I call it, my plumbing bucket. And then over here I have all my tools. DeWalt, as you know, everybody knows I like DeWalt tools, and nut drivers on the other side. So screwdrivers, another set of big set of channel locks for when you got those big jobs. And those are quite the size channel locks. It doesn't show from the picture, but that's your average size of channel locks. So anyways, these are the tools that I'm going to need, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the gas line first. Now I've already went ahead and shut off the gas valve and stuff, so that comes right there. And I just use 2 crescent wrenches, grab onto these 2 fittings, and it'll take just a little bit of a tweak, and yep, that's it. Not much at all. That one's loose. And then same thing down here. This one's a lot tighter. There we go. That's that one off right there. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and put that one aside. Ooh, you can kind of smell the gas coming out of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can smell that raw egg smell. So like with this, like I said, I'm going to grab onto this and I'm just going to turn this so it's on an angle right here. Now the next thing I need to remove is the vent. Now the vent goes from here and it goes all the way there, and it uses that foil tape that I've talked about in other videos that it basically closes off and seals everything up. So I'll have to take down the foil tape. Take it. There's no foil tape right here. It's just a 1/4 inch self-tapping screw, and I'll take that off. Then I can slide this off. Then I can get down to these, and then I'll have to take the straps off so I can move it. It's pretty simple to move, and it'll be pretty simple to disconnect from here to here and then make the cut. Now, before you get it too far into disconnecting all the water lines, we want to make sure that we reconnect the water lines to the same spots. So I put a 1, and then I put a 2 right there, and then up above in the ductwork, I don't know if you can see it, but I wrote 2 right there, and then I wrote a 1 right there. And I know it's hard to see, but I just want to make sure you guys mark your lines just so you know where they go. Like I said, this is a first for me, so I'm kind of taking a couple extra precautions before I get too far into it and make a mistake. So this is the vent pipe that comes from the top of the see if I can get that glare out of the way. This goes from the top of the hot water heater, comes up, makes a 90. I've already taken the screws out of here, and then it comes into this. I don't know why this is here. I'm gonna have to find out if that's code or if I can just run it straight down. And then way up there, there's 3 more screws. So I've already taken everything out. Let me show you how it comes apart. Back up a little bit. This piece just basically slides right out of there. And then this piece, if I got everything out of there, it should wiggle itself right out of there. Now, I think there's 1 more screw right up there, so I have to get that screw also. Okay, now that you have the vent out of here, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to detach the straps that actually hold from this. This is nothing. It's not even hooked to the ground at all. So I'm going to, these are the straps that hold the water heater in place, which are crap in my opinion. This is the strap that holds the sewer pipe in place, or the vent, one of those two. Probably this, just a water sewer pipe from like the sink or something. So I'll go ahead and take these off, take these straps off, because I want to get this wall out of the way, and I want to get that 2x4 out of the way because that's in my way. So I'm just trying to clear the area and get everything cleaned up. You got to love it when you're working on things and you get to a point where you got a sewer pipe here, you got a piece of wood here, you got a lag bolt behind the sewer pipe that goes completely through the wood that holds the strap in place. It's kind of like, okay, what got put here first, the chicken or the egg? So got to get this one off, and then there's one down there I got to get off too. And they did the same thing on both. So it's kind of like no thought went into this, but I guess they never planned on anybody removing it. Well, they never met me. So almost there. Okay, got that done. Now let me pull out this one. That one's going to take a little work. But anyways, I'm going to move this, put it right there. I think it'll look really good when I'm done. Okay, I'll kind of give you a rundown of what I've done. I've disconnected the gas line that runs to the hot water heater, which was right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spin this around so it's over here. I've taken the wall down so I can basically slide the hot water heater around and just get it away from this. There was a vent up there that ran and it hooked to the top. I pulled that out of there. The only thing I have not disconnected yet is my 2 water lines. That's the last thing I'm going to do. But I've got everything else ready to go, and I'm going to get all my tools out of the way because I know when I disconnect these 2 lines, I'm going to probably get some water. Even though I've shut this off, I won't get much from this one, but from the other one, I'll move these screws. From the other one, I might get some water. So anyways, that's what's my next step, is I'm going to disconnect the water lines. I've got everything else moved to where that's all I got to do is move the hot water heater and then start reconnecting. Pretty simple. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disconnect this, which basically disconnects everything from the hot water heater. And that's all I need is 2 pairs of channel locks. There's a fitting on the bottom I'll grab onto, and there's one on the top. I just grab onto them. And from what I've been told, these usually are not very, very tight, which really kind of blows me away. Oh wow, yeah, they're not very tight. Okay. Okay, get ready. I'm gonna get a bath. Now I've already opened up the valves upstairs, so hopefully I do not have any pressure on this system. I'm gonna open up this pressure relief valve just out of curiosity. Over on this side, there's a pressure. And there's a little bit of got some pressure in it. I'm going to relieve some pressure. I really don't want to find out and make a mess. Yeah, it's just got a little bit of pressure down there. All right, just about drained. Cool. So, note to self. Relieve the pressure valve before you disconnect these. So I'm going to leave the pressure valve open just a little bit. It's just kind of trickling. Oh, this ain't that hard. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. That works pretty good. Go ahead and take this. This is my water coming in, if I remember right. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to it. I got this disconnected, this disconnected. Now I'll take it and I'll go put the water heater over there. I'll cut these lines in a couple places and I'll basically use some SharkBite fittings and hook it all back up. Pretty simple. Now that I've got everything disconnected, I need to get the hot water heater from here all the way around here. And it's got, I think, 40 or 50 gallons in it. So that's about 350, probably 400 pounds. But I'm not lifting it off the ground. I'm just going to roll it. So can't be that hard. Not obviously that hard. It takes a little bit of work. Oop, hitting that. Come on, baby. What? Okay, sorry. My granddaughter's upstairs and I didn't shut the door. Bad grandpa. I think that's going to work out pretty nice. Okay, we've now moved the hot water heater from here all the way over to there. And as you can see, that's my 2x4. So I'm trying to get everything moved over. That's part of the doorway. Want everything moved over so that I got a clear shot coming around. And then I'm going to, this is from the air conditioning unit. I'm actually going to do another video of how I basically dig a trench right into the concrete, and I'm going to come sideways into this drain so we can tile over the top of it and you don't have this piece of PVC down here. So look forward to that in another upcoming video. Right now, this is the challenge at hand. So here's my gas line. I'm going to have to, that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it about another 120 degrees. 360 degrees makes a circle, so I want to go about a third from here to like right here. So I'll twist that around, I'll have it over there, and that way this will be behind. And that'll be a lot better than the way it was. So that's my next thing I'm going to do. And then now when I get the hot water heater completely done, we are going to put a wall right here, but we're going to have like an access door right here that'll open up so we can get to the air conditioner for maintenance. And then we're going to have an access panel down here so that you can get to and from, you can get to all the turn offs and turn ons. It'll be just a door that'll open and shut. It'll have a sign above it, you know, gas line disconnect, so that everybody knows. Over on this side, the gas line will come around this way and it'll hook right into there. So my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook back up the water line so that they can have hot water upstairs. So far this is coming along pretty good. I'm really pleased. Okay, now that I have the hot water heater in place, it's time to start removing the lines. So what I did is I took this line off right here first before I started the video, just to make sure I could do what I wanted to do. Like I said, this is my first time. So what I did is I took a hacksaw blade and I cut this fitting, just like this is the fitting. And then what I did is, you can see it right here, I cut it on an angle. So that was for this, what do you call it, fastener, I guess is what I'm going to call it. And then what I did is I heated up the PEX with my daughter's hair dryer, because I left my heat gun in Arizona. So basically what you're going to do is you take a hacksaw blade, and when I mean hacksaw blade, I'm not using a whole hacksaw. The only thing I was doing was using a blade, and I was basically pulling it on an angle. Once I cut through this, then I used a screwdriver, spread it apart, slid it up. Once I slid it up, then I heated this up, which is the PEX, with the hair dryer, used a screwdriver on this side, and then just pried it down, and it basically came off. And then what I'll do when I'm done is I'll barely cut right above this line where this was, so that I have a clean fitting on the inside of the tubing, so I can put the new SharkBite fitting up to it. So I'll go ahead and show you how I did the first one. Okay, what I've done is I've set up the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I just took the hacksaw blade and I gently just played with it until I got it to start cutting. And it took a little while to get a burr in it to where I could just start following it. I don't want to hit the tube. Once you get it going, it just takes a couple seconds. As long as you don't slip. And I just don't want to cut the tube. That's my main goal here, is not to cut that tube at all. And just keep checking it until I can get it where I want it. I don't know why they went through this. It's stupid. Must be a reason. I got it? I'm close. I'm trying to do this in real time so I can show you just what it is it takes to do it. I think I got it. Let's use a screwdriver. Stick the screwdriver on an angle. Yep, spread it apart. Okay, now that I've got it all spread apart, I can slide it up. Pretty simple. Okay, there. Now I got it up and out of the way. I'll just turn on the hair dryer. Whoop. And I want to heat up just the PEX. Now, if I was using my heat gun, I would already be done. But this will work. Now, if I was to stick my fingers in front of my heat gun right here, it'd basically melt my fingers, the skin right off my fingers. That should do it. That's about how much I gave the last one I did. Now what I did is I went over here like this, stuck the screwdriver in the crack in between, and I just pried it all the way around until it basically popped out. There it comes. It's almost there. Oh, I almost had it. Come on. I can see you're there. Almost. I don't want to break it. Just like that. And that's kind of what the fitting looks like. So it's got a couple barbs on there and then it just clamps right to it. So I'll go ahead and I'll cut it up just about 1/4 of an inch so that I've got a real clean fitting on the inside to work with. Come on. Okay, that's all there is to it. So I'll go ahead and do the other one and then we'll go ahead and we'll start moving everything. Okay, we just got back from the hardware store, Home Depot as a matter of fact, and we got some SharkBite fittings. For those of you that are not familiar with how SharkBite fittings are or what they are, I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner to a video I did back in November of 2020 that shows all about SharkBite fittings, how to prepare, what to do, how to remove, how to replace, everything about a SharkBite fitting. But in today's video, I'm not going to show you that. But I'm going to show you what the SharkBite fitting looks like and how it works. So this is a SharkBite fitting, and basically what it is, it's just an easy way to do stuff that goes PEX to copper, copper to copper, PEX to PEX. These are just a universal, fantastic fitting. And then I got a piece of 3/4 inch PEX that I'll use with what I've already done. So I'll show you how this goes together, and we should have this to where I can turn the water back on probably in the next, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. Okay, when you're working with SharkBite fittings, you're going to need a couple things. This is a really cool, handy-dandy little item that has different size fittings on each end. And right here is a cutter that is used. So basically what happens is, like when you're using the tube and you cut the tube with the Pex Tubing Cutter, you're going to use this, and what happens is it slides in and there's a cutter right here. And then you just rotate this and you can kind of see where the little piece is coming out. That's the biggest thing that I see and I hear from contractors that go, I hate SharkBite because they leak. Well, the reason why is because you didn't buy one of these and you didn't deburr it. You want to make sure that this inside edge and the outside edge is all clean and there's no tears and there's no flat, because when you're working with the SharkBite fitting, you got this little white piece that's right here on the center that I got my finger inside of. You want to make sure that that slides inside the tube very carefully. And you want to make sure it's even. So I'll show you. There's a couple really cool things with this. Now, when you're using this, you're going to take it, you'll cut it, you'll cut the PEX and use what we call a Pex Tubing Cutter. This is all that this one is used for. I can't talk to anybody else. But this is all mine is used for, is cutting PEX. So we cut it. I already cut it. I'm not going to cut it again. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use this, and then this slides on. You'll deburr it. Okay, once you got it deburred all the way around, you're going to get a Sharpie. Okay. You're going to take your Sharpie, and while this is inside there, you are going to mark the tubing with the Sharpie. I go over this in this video in much detail that, like I said, I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner. That tells you, this mark tells you how far to push this SharkBite fitting on. If you only push it in this far, that's why that sucker's leaking. So if you push it all the way into where you barely can see the black line, that's where it needs to be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you with this one. Now this one I boogered up a little bit when I was pulling it off. You can kind of see right here where I kind of boogered it up, and you can kind of see where the clip was that held on it. This was the piece that was used on the hot water heater itself. So I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how I do this. So I'm going to take the SharkBite cutter, or I'm going to take the tubing cutter, and I'm going to cut it right where that line was. And basically I'm making it so it's just flat with this side. Okay, and just cut it. Very simple. Now this has a very sharp edge here and one on the inside. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take our deburr and just spin it around where you get it all nice and clean. Okay, that's all there is. Go a couple times. Take your Sharpie and you'll mark the tubing. This is probably the slickest thing I've ever seen. Okay, we got it marked. See? Pretty simple. Take your Sharkbite fitting and make sure you got it in there so it's, so you can feel it going in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it and just push it in to where the line is just barely touching. That is all there is to doing Sharkbite fittings. Nothing else to it. Now, like I said, I go in much detail on how to remove these, how to replace these, everything in a video. It's worth watching. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. Pretty simple. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and start doing the rest of this now. Okay, now I need to shorten this. So I've already taken the liberty to cut this with my tubing cutter, but I'll show you how I'd go about doing it. This is what they call a 3/4 inch tubing cutter. And if you look on it, there is an arrow. See the arrow? That tells you which way you're going to turn it. You open this up, and in the inside is a blade right here. I put a line right here as to how much I need to take off. So you put that right about in the middle, snap it shut, and then what you're going to do is you just twist, and it'll automatically just cut it right off. This is the coolest thing around. Takes a couple swipes. Okay, come on, there it goes. It's almost there. I think. There. Okay. Now, once you've got this cut off, unlike deburring the Pex, which you use this piece with, the only thing I'm going to use this for is so that I know how far to push it onto the Pex. So I push it all the way in. Take my Sharpie. Where'd I put my Sharpie? Oh, my Sharpie's down here. Take my Sharpie and then mark it. So you're going to take the Sharpie and then you just mark the copper so that you know how far to push it on. Okay. Pull that out. Do the other piece. You just got to know how far. Okay, once I got that, okay, there. That way I know exactly how far to push the Sharkbite fitting on. Okay, now I guess you can use, I have in the past, just lightly. Don't push really hard. Just if there's any burrs, let it pull off those burrs. Okay, but what's more important with copper, it's not so much the outside of the copper, it's the inside of the copper. The inside of the copper gets a burr, and if you stick your finger in here, you can feel it. So at that point, what you're going to use is a file, and you just file down that edge. And once you can't feel it with your finger, that's all there is to it. If it feels like it's going to cut your finger, the burr is still there. You need to get rid of that. This is why a lot of people do not like shark bites, is because they don't realize all the stuff that you have to do, which is not a lot, but you do have to take a little bit of precautions just to make sure the shark bite seals. Okay, that one's good. Now we'll do the other one. That's pretty good. Let's see. Yep, all the way around. Feels good. Okay, just like the other one, stick your finger in there, pull the white piece out. See? Just try to very gently get it to where it goes in. And it'll go in a little ways. Once you got it in, you got to push. I got to pull it out of the... Sorry, guys. I got to... Yeah. There we go. Okay, that one's done. Okay, I did forget one key component when you're doing this. Take your emery cloth and clean it really good. And you just want to get all the contaminants off the copper so that it slides on there better. I didn't do that for the other piece, and I had to take it apart and redo it. So just make sure you got it all nice and clean, just like that. Okay, Okay, once you got both pieces on there, you can see that there's the black line on that side. There's the black line on that side. So you just want to make sure that you get it all the way up to the line that you marked. Otherwise, they will leak. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this in place. Now that I got both of these copper lines in place, I'll go ahead and just tighten them down and make them snug. I don't want them tight, but I definitely want them snug so that they don't move around on me while I'm working. Pretty simple. This has not been a hard job at all. Had a couple things that I didn't know about, but like I said, this is the first time I've ever done one like this. So I'm pretty pleased with the way it's going to come out. It's going to look good. I guess I can go ahead and tighten them up because they don't need to move. Got them all nice and snug. There we go. That, and I'll put something up there to hold that to there, and that'll kind of give that a little bit more. All right, that works. And then got the gate valve. Not bad. I like it. It's coming out good. Okay, now I have the two SharkBite fittings put in right here. Over here is another one, and then right back there, you can barely see it right here, is the other one. Now it's just a matter of connecting the dots. Down here is number one. So number one's going to come right here. It's going to go right there. It's going to come around here, and it's going to hook into this one because I wrote number one on this one right there. Wrote number two right there. That one goes back there. Pretty simple. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hold the camera while I do this, but you guys kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a pro tip right now. Earlier in the video, I cut this piece off, which had a fitting like this pushed into it, and then I cut this off, as you saw with a hacksaw blade, and pried it out. Now, the piece that was on the end, it's not so much this one, you can see how this was just a little bit boogered up right here, and there's a little bit of a, you can see it, how it's all nasty right there. When you go to put the fittings on for the SharkBite, what causes the SharkBite fitting to leak is not cleaning up this. Okay, so what I usually do is I take my cutters and I cut just to the end of this right here. If you want to go more, go more. I didn't have a lot to work with, but you want to have a very, very clean cut right here. And you also want to have very, very, very sharp edges right here so that at the end, we can take our tool and we can deburr it. So you definitely want to have all this clean. Otherwise, your fittings will leak. So what you're going to do, like I've showed you, take this and just, like I said, what I had to do is I just lined it up at the edge because that's all that you really need to cut out of there. And I'll show you why here in a second. I don't want to put my finger in there and cut it. Okay. The reason why you're cutting a piece this big off is because if you look right here, you've got these little barbs on here. On the inside, when this slides on, that's actually what holds to it. So it gets a little bit mushroomed out. So what you're going to want to do, like I said, you're going to cut a piece about this big off. And then you'll take your piece, just like I've showed you in other videos, and you'll deburr it. You can see there's all the little white things. Spin it all the way around a bunch of times. When you're done, as always, take your Sharpie and mark it. That way you know how far to push it on. You know, you want that SharkBite fitting just to barely touch the black line. If it covers the back line, even better. But if it's got to come close. If it's way the heck over here, you don't have it pushed down far enough. So this is the secret. I mean, this is like the mother lode. This is like the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. You have to put this mark here. If you don't, your SharkBite fitting will leak. And that's why a lot of plumbers and a lot of homeowners that don't know can't figure out why their SharkBites don't work. This is the secret right here. So make sure, cut off just a little bitty piece. If you're doing a repair, you got to cut off a little piece. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, it's going to leak. So after you cut the piece off, deburr the outside with the tool, mark it, slide your new piece on. So that's a huge pro tip. I hope this helps you guys out. I'm going to get on with the rest of my video. Okay, we now have all the pecs in place. You can see the black line, the black line, the black line, the black line. And it's the same thing over there. But the water is turned on. We got the gate valve on right there. And behind the mattress over there is another gate valve. That one behind the mattress turns on everything to the house. So right now, the water is flowing. We have no leaks. Now we got to go back and reconnect like the vent that is going to go up into there. And I've got to hook up the gas line, which is not too hard to do. And I got to flip the gas line around down there. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip this around so it heads that way. And you're going to need 2 pipe wrenches. And that's all you're going to do is make sure you go in the right direction. I don't have to go too far, and right about there will work. And that's all it takes. There, now it's out of the way. So now I can go ahead and I can hook up my hose right here and I can run it around. Okay, now that you got your gas line turned, I'm just going to dry fit everything into place. So the only thing I'm going to do is just twist it on with my hands, just like so. I'll come back and I'll tighten it up with the crescent wrench in a minute. Go like that. And I got to go all the way around. And then I just got to hook it up right here. Just like so. And then once I got it all nice and tight, then I'll clean up the way the gas line goes and make it look right. I don't want it to be the way it is right now. So that's all you do right there. So I've already tightened up that one in the back. Comes around, made it look kind of nice right to there. I'll go ahead and set this down right here. I'll go ahead and tighten this one up. So this is not hard. But you definitely do want to make sure it is tight. You don't want any gas leaks. And I think we're done. Check it one more time. This is where you can have gorilla hands, semi-gorilla hands. 1 to 10, this is not a 10, this is like an 8. Okay, just like that. Make sure the gas line looks good, it's not touching anything. And this is flexible, so you can actually kind of work with it a little bit. I just want it to look good. I'm very much into making things look nice. I hate doing crappy work. I hate people that just want to get the job done and do a crappy job and leave it for somebody else to fix. So take pride in your work, and believe me, you won't be doing it twice. And I don't have any kinks, and it's it'll flow very, very nicely. Voila, we're done. Well, now that you got the gas line hooked up, got to start putting the vent lines back in. We're gonna have to snake it around because of where we put the packs and where we've got the a couple different drains. And up here, we ended up pulling down part of the what do you call it? Part of the gas line and stuff like that because somebody was pulling on it. So we kind of made this little caddy right here that we can pull it out if we need to in the future. So we just kind of put the 2x4 like that. Kind of get off the ladder, I'll show you. I kind of built this. I need this for the gas line. So this will hang down, and then I can hook the gas line into here, and then I can hook all the other lines into the bottom of that 2x4. So that's kind of the way I'm going to do it. Easiest way to do it, because if I have to pull it out, I want to be able to pull it out in the future. Okay, well, we're going to see if we can make this, get this up in place where we actually need it. Come on. There we go. Got to snake it underneath. Got to snake it underneath the drain line for the sink. And we got to push up that, slide it in. It's kind of like a trolley, so this is going to work pretty good. So, yeah, I like that. So now you can kind of see how I got it up in there. Here's the vent that goes all the way to the back, and the vent comes down and it goes right to that spot right there. So, and then to the bottom of this 2x4. The old 2x4 was actually hooked over here. It's hooked up to this, which is the bottom of the floor joist. So it's similar to this floor joist over here. I really didn't want to hook it to there, so I used two 2x4s, turn the 2x4 sideways, and it's at the same level, and then I can just go into the bottom of the 2x4 right here. So that'll look good when I get it all done. I know this is tough lighting, everybody. I apologize for the glares, but just kind of wanted to show you what I was doing. Well, my water heater job, installation, however you want to put it, I really didn't install it. I just moved it from right there to there so that I can build a wall right there. So I think this came out really good. It came out super clean all the way up. I hope you enjoyed this video. The next thing I'm working on, which I've already started, this was the condensation line that came from the air conditioning unit, and it came down here, and then this switch up here was over here. So I went and I moved that as I was working on the hot water heater, just to get things out of the way. Since I want to put a floor down here, I didn't want this piece of PVC above. So what I did is I just dug a trench into the concrete, and then I auged a hole sideways into the drain, and then I'll fill that up with sand, similar to what they use for like a paver job. Because if I ever want to get in there again, I want to be able to pull up the floor, because I'm going to put like a hardwood vinyl floor, something that can be pulled up. It's not going to be like, I'm not tiling down here. This is a basement. But anyways, that's just kind of what my next project that I was working on as I was starting to get done with the water heater job. But as you can see, I got all the gas lines behind. Everything's tucked in really nice and clean right here. That looks good. And then up on top, I did put insulation on my Pex water lines. I wanted to keep it away from my vent. And I also put some tape on the, these are like, I think they're vent lines that run to the AC. I'm not quite sure what they do. That's not really my forte. But anyways, I've got the vent line that runs to the hot water heater, and then I still got to put a little bit more insulation down here and then finish that up. But for the most part, this job is done. So I hope you enjoyed this. As you can tell, moving a hot water heater really wasn't that hard. I actually did this for my daughter and her husband, because they're going to start basically remodeling, or I should say installation on their basement. So they got a long way to go yet, but we do have a lot of building materials over here. So that'll be part of my next project that I'm going to do. I'm going to probably do the wiring, because I've got a package of wire there. That's all the drywall. I got 2x6, so I got to pretty much help out with this, and we'll try to get this done, and maybe we'll finish up a video. I know that there's some air conditioning duct work that needs to be done, but I got to get back home, get back to work, and earn some money. So anyways, I appreciate you guys showing up. My name is Scott, and I welcome you to my channel, and I appreciate you guys showing up and learning how I do what I do. See you guys on the next video. Have a great day, everybody.